Now, today we are learning the basics of team building. What does that mean? Understanding how to make a team, understanding all the different dynamics, all the different mechanics that there are in game. And it's going to be a future-proof video, hopefully, because if you learn how to make a team, these basics are going to stay forever. So even if you watch this in 1.2, 1.1, 2.0, 3.0, it's still going to be good, because those are the basics that help you making a proper team. It doesn't matter which characters, right? I'm going to use the 1.0 roster because the game isn't out yet. But yeah, let's go with order. Let's talk about the first thing, the type of agents that we have. The roles that we have are 5, but 2 of them are really rare. So I will mention them and explain what they do, but just mention, because it's probably going to be very rare. Some of you might get them, some of you don't, most of you won't. So let's go with order, okay? First of all, we have the main DPS. The main DPS is called Attacker. Attacker is someone such as Billy, Corin, Ellen, Nekomata, Soldier 11, okay? Or even Anton, for example. Now, the Attacker is very simple. Doesn't do anything crazy, just goes there, does a lot of damage. And maybe a lot of anomaly build up depending on how their kit is. We'll talk about anomaly later, okay? Now, next up, we have we go into the supporting role, okay? Support role is one of the most common, second most common role. And we have characters such as Sokaku and Nicole, for example. And those characters we are gonna get for free. So we don't have to worry about it too much, and we're going to get them for free. Nicole is going to be from the story. Sokaku is going to be free from the game once you clear Shield Defense Stage 3. Now, that said, what does the support do? The support do depending on the character, but usually the support is specialized in either debuffing the enemy or doing some crowd control of everything at the same time, or applying more build up or triggering chain reactions, right? So those are the supporters of the support role. There is another support role that is called differently, and it's called stun. The stun role is someone such as Anbi or Lycaon, for example. Those characters are specialized in building daze. Daze is a status where the enemy reaches a certain point where it gets stunned. We'll talk about more of that a little later, okay? Let me finish the roles. So they are really efficient in applying that stun. Now, the extra roles that are like super rare is going to be the anomaly role and the tank role. The tank role, it's only filled by Ben at the moment, and the anomaly role is only filled by Grace, which is a 5-star. So unless you randomly happen to get her by sheer luck, you won't have access to a anomaly for now. Maybe in the future, we will get maybe extra premium characters, extra 5 stars that appear in 1.1, 1.2, we'll see, that are of the anomaly type. But for now, we don't have, besides Grace, we don't have one. Now, what is the anomaly? The anomaly role is an agent that is really good in applying anomaly. Anomaly is a status ailment which gets applied to the enemy once you attack them over and over and over with an element. Yes, physical is an element. Now, usually this always applies during combat, but an anomaly specialist is going to apply it way faster than a normal combat with normal characters that are not specialized, right? So Grace is going to be a very, very, very fast anomaly build-upper for the electro element, okay? Now, if you don't have Grace, you don't have anomaly, but at least we know that there is one, okay? It could be cool, but if you don't have Grace, you can't use it. The tank role, it's only filled by Ben. At the moment, I don't think it's a good choice to bring Ben anywhere unless you happen to get, or maybe you're a whale, you happen to have Koleda and Soldier 11. Why? Because Ben is a tank. A tank basically applies shields, blocks for free, like by doing like E, like your ability is going to let you block, a perfect block, takes no damage, you can block, which is an extra survivability option for your party. But Ben is fire. Ben is fire and only part of the Belloc Bog industry. So we'll talk about why this is a problem later, but long story short, you might not have the character that you need to make Ben worth putting in your team, okay? Now, that said, now we know the basic themes. Now, what is anomaly and what is days? First of all, days, because it's going to be the one that we're going to actually see every time. Anomaly as well, but let's start with days. Days is a status where once the bar, it's a yellow bar below the HP, the health bar of the enemy, it fills up when you attack them. Okay, if you attack them with a stun character, they're gonna have a higher days power, so this bar is gonna fill faster if you attack them with a specialist of stun, such as Envy, for example, okay, or Lycaon. Now, once this bar goes to the top and fills up to 100%, the enemy is going to be stunned. It's going to go in daze mode. And they don't fight, they don't do anything. They just stay like this and they wait. You have a time window when you now can go and do your worst, do your ultimate, it also will trigger the chain attacks. So now you can dogpile on the enemy, do everything, unleash every power that you have, every power move that you have, every ultimate, every skill on your main attacker, right? During this time, they take more damage as well. Usually it's like 200 to 225% more damage that they take. So keep that in mind whenever you're about to do your ult or do something like that. Wait until they are in daze, so that way you're going to deal way more damage instead of doing it before, right? Now, when you are attacking, right, you're going to have the daze and you're going to have the anomaly build up. Now, these two aspects of the combat are always there. So you're always going to apply anomaly, you're always going to apply daze. The only difference is that for specialists, they're going to apply it faster. So in the case of Grace and anomaly, she will be applying the shock anomaly way faster than just hitting the enemy with like Anby or Anton, okay? Or Rina. So what is anomaly? Anomaly is a status ailment of the element that you applied anomaly with. So ice, burn, physical, all those things, right? Electro. Now, depending on which element it was, it's going to apply a different type of anomaly, okay? So now, for example, the shock that you build up with Envy or Grace is going to be the electric anomaly, right? So you build electric anomaly and it's going to eventually become shock. Once an enemy is in shock, it's going to take extra instances of electro damage once you're attacking them. And if you happen to apply this shock status on a mech monster, on a robotic monster, mechanical monster enemy, now they're also stunned because they're electric, they're mechanics, so electricity destroys them, like stuns them. So you're going to have to worry about this a little bit if you want to maximize your presence in the fight and like make the enemy not do anything, just destroy them, okay? Control the enemy. Now, the physical anomaly is going to apply assault, which is how it's called. It's just like a burst of damage. If you keep applying this type of anomaly, it will become armor break, which is going to reduce the defense of the enemy for a certain amount. The burn is very simple. You're going to apply burning status on the enemy, and the burning status of the enemy is just going to do set triggers of burn on the enemy for a certain period of time. Now, there are some enemies that are very weak to burn, which are the organic enemies, such as like thugs and humanoid people, right? Like humans. Those type of enemies are going to be also staggered and stunned by this anomaly build-up. So keep that in mind once you're fighting. Bring some burn for the humans, okay? Now, then we have the ice element. The ice element is going to apply freeze, which stops the enemy movement for a while, and then it's going to remove freeze with shatter. Shatter is going to deal an instance of damage. Now, if you keep applying the ice anomaly, it's going to become frostbite, which is also going to do some extra damage, right? Now, with this in mind, let's move on with the Aether. The Aether is a special element. It's very rare. For now, we only have Nicole, and we're going to have one of them. Phase 2, I believe, is going to be Zhu Yuan, which is going to be an Aether attacker. But for now, we only have Nicole, which is Ether. Now, Ether is special. When you apply anomaly with Ether, it's going to be corruption. Corruption is going to deal a certain type of damage, like an instance of damage. But if you are attacking ethereal type enemies, they're going to not only get this, but they're also going to be confused, and they're going to attack their own for a little bit. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's kind of cool if you think about it. So those are the anomalies, right? There's also a deeper level of anomaly interaction, which is overlapping an anomaly with another anomaly, and that will result in disruption. So, but it's you can keep that in mind. It's going to replace the first anomaly with another anomaly. It might not be super easy to do because you might not have the character suited for applying anomaly this fast, and if you don't have Grace, it's going to be even harder. So keep that in mind. It might not be super possible, but I did a couple times when CBT3, so it is possible, but maybe not something that you can focus on this early on in the game. Okay, now this is a good part of the team building. The roles, choosing the correct supporters for your attacker, and now thinking about build up, anomaly build up, thinking about days. Now we need to move on into their type of damage and the extra ability that they gain. Okay, once you need to build a team, they ask you to select 3 characters. Now, I don't know if you never ever noticed, but once you select these 3 characters, they're going to have a smiley. This smiley basically tells you at a glance if you did it correctly or not. What does this mean? There is a hidden, it's not hidden, but it's not super, it's not shown to you really easily. It's a hidden mechanic. Let's call it hidden. It's a hidden mechanic that basically makes it so every agent has 2 special passives that will enable or disable depending on which characters you pair them with. Okay, so for example, Billy, Envy, Nicole are all different elements, but they're part of the same faction. So one of the requirements for getting these special abilities enabled is to have this one character pair with either the same another one of the same element or another one of the same faction. So in this case, if we are pairing Billy with Envy, they're all part of the same faction, even though they're not the same element. So this will work and will enable their first passive. Now, if we then put a third character, and that character is Nicole, even if they all have different elements, they all are of the same faction, the Cunning Hares. Now, this will enable for everybody in the team their first passive. Okay, so keep this in mind when you're trying to build a team. Now, there is a second, more sweaty version of passives that you can keep an eye on and try to do. It's going to be very, very, very hard early because we are missing characters of the factions. Like, we don't have all the characters of every faction. It's going to be, maybe you won't have the characters of every faction, right? So once you're trying to build a team, now you're going to have to kind of miss out on some of these abilities because you don't have any way for you to trigger them. Okay, so for example, if you're trying to build a Victoria housekeeping team and you don't have Lycaon or you don't have Rina, now it's going to be extremely hard for you to use Corin in the most efficient way. You would have to use like Corin and either Lycaon or Rina and another one of the same element, so that way, because there's not 3 or 2 Victoria housekeeping characters that have the physical status, so that way now you need to use Corin with either Lycaon or Rina, mandatory, and then you need to pair her with another physical attack. So if you have Nekomata, you could use Nekomata, or you need to use Billy. See how it becomes complicated? And that's why I said that Ben is not a good choice early on in the video, because Ben would have to play with either another Burn, which we don't have many characters of. The only 2 characters available are 5 stars from the standard banner, which is not going to be easy to get, right? Unless you reroll, but even then, in that case, it's going to be weird, right? So Ben needs to play with either Burn characters or Bellobog Industries characters, which is going to be a pain of either just like a pain or just straight up impossible, because you don't have Coleda or Soldier 11, but you need burn characters, either burn characters or Bellowbow characters. Otherwise, if you bring Ben with your team, not only the other two characters might lose their bonuses, but even Ben is going to lose every bonus, right? So you need to keep in mind what is happening and try to make a team with all of these elements, okay? With all of these requirements on your team. So this kind of is it. There's nothing else I can tell you, but keep in mind that it's going to be really important for you to make a proper team. If you are still confused, please let me know in the comments. I think that is it. I don't think there is anything else that I can add. If not, like if there was anything, it would probably be confusing. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Gonna be live on Twitch if you want to come say hi whenever the game comes out on July 4th. I'll be live on twitch.tv/Jagazin. Like, subscribe for more videos about Zenless on Zero, and see you guys next time.